different in terms of, compared to where I was a year ago as TUI Travel. So I think it fits in very much with the whole theme of the conference. And today I want to give you a perspective of our organisation and why I think we can compete in what clearly is an ever-changing world within the travel industry. The trick is going to go like good. I think it's important to remember, and certainly from my perspective, that change and disruption are ever present. It's not something new. And if we don't adapt, we become irrelevant. We shouldn't be afraid of new developments. There are always new entrants, whatever the sector that we're in. Some successful, and some are not. Of the successful ones, some go on to become part of the establishment, and some are acquired. We need to know our market, know our customers, and never be too confident of our position, no matter how big we are. And for me, you've only got to look at the supermarket industry and see what happened there with four big players, and who bluntly, a number of them fell asleep at the wheel. And we can see this within our own industry. Huge amounts of change that has been going on. Our industry was the domain of the rich to be able to go on holiday. In our daily lives, we live in a world where we can influence, there is huge choice, and people are not afraid to make it. We see this, though, as a huge opportunity and very exciting for us at TUI. And we focused on our business over the last decade in terms of reshaping and rethinking how we can compete for the long term and not get caught out like some established players in other industries, and particularly the one that I referred to. What I want to do now is to talk to you about how we think about our positioning in the market, and how we believe that we've built a company that's got long-term, sustainable competitive advantage and can live with all the changes, the disruptors, the impact of technology, because in many instances we are embracing so much of that. We are now the world's largest integrated tourism business, with an access to over 20 million customers. 70% of those customers fly on our aeroplanes. And we've got one of the most modern fleet of aircraft in the world. We've got the new generation of long-haul aircraft in terms of the Dreamliner, the 787. We have a very attractive portfolio of hotels, some 300. And we've got a growing fleet of cruise ships. So the new big change and dimension for TUI, the group, as opposed to TUI Travel, is ownership and control of content on a unique basis. And this is the fundamental platform for us to drive long-term security and differentiation and sustainability of our model. In addition to that, we've participated in the online world in a significant way within the B2B beds market, hotel market. And we built a company called Hotel Beds from scratch 12 years ago, which is now the world's largest wholesaler of hotel rooms. And this is a global business, and we see huge opportunities. And I think this is an example of where a traditional travel company has used its infrastructure to build a leading position, but using a digital model in in terms of the way we transact and grow. The way we think about our business is as follows. Our 20 million customers is our marketing and sales capability, our brand, or brands. But yesterday, we said that we were going to be embarking on a journey to create one big power brand, TUI. We've used TUI as an overarching brand with our local brands. But when we look forward now, when we take a view for the next decade, we believe that the winners will be the big global power brands. So we will migrate and create that power brand TUI. And I've certainly got a lot of column inches in the press today, having made that announcement yesterday. And in terms of this integrated model, we fly 30 million of those 20 million customers on our aircraft. And we service through our destination management company 11 million of those customers. And 7 million of the customers stay in our accommodation. This means for us, we have greater control of the end-to-end customer journey. And that is really the starting point for us in terms of how we differentiate. And I want to go on, and I will use an example in a minute, of how we believe this gives us long-term advantage. It gives us the opportunity to grow in what is a very attractive marketplace. And I want to talk about how we use this strength and take an example of this end-to-end customer experience that we have and how we've built a very strong position within the long-haul market for European travellers and also, for that matter, for Canadian travellers. And across Europe and in Canada, we're mostly number one or number two. And that gives us huge scale. It gives us we have strong brands, market leadership, and then absolute scale. And that absolute scale gives us huge buying power to offer terrific value to our customers. So we've got this large group of customers who will then fly on our long-haul aircraft, who will then stay within our hotels and be supported by our ground handling services through our destination management company. And this gives you some idea of the scale of the operation. We've got over 1 million customers in terms of long haul, staying in over 40 of our hotels. We're operating 13 787s today. By 2017, that will increase to 17 aircraft. And we also have very interesting cruise itineraries, particularly within the Caribbean. Why long haul, and what does that do for us? It broadens our customer offering. There's an interesting perspective as well in terms of when we look at the Caribbean, and that is that we are able to bring customers from Europe and we bring customers from Canada. We bring the two together, and that gives us an all-year-round business, which is very attractive in terms of owning hotels, because it enables us to generate very, very high levels of revenue for 52 weeks of the year, as opposed to when we look at some of the investments if we made within the Mediterranean when the season is just summer. By then also, if we look on the right-hand side, by having big power brands and then migrating to the TUI brands, and the positioning of that brand, which is within the middle to upper mass market, we can attract more customers that want to take long-haul holidays. And the 787 is the most modern aircraft in terms of long-haul. It's a superb in-flight experience. And we're the only airline operating 787s to the Caribbean. Our competitors are generally using the smaller aircraft to fly to cities of lower density and where there's lower demand. And then having this control in terms of hotels and uniqueness of offering is also very important for us. So if I then take an example about what we've done in the UK and how this has worked and how we are the winners, and then it's quite interesting to see that this is, you can see on the left-hand side how we've grown in terms of our size and the relevant shares that we have of this market. And we think about the market, not just what our traditional tour operators have done, but we think about it obviously across all markets, in terms of all different segments of the market. So when we look at long haul, we're also looking at what Virgin are doing and British Airways are doing. And what we've built is a market-leading position. And the attraction of our business model now, where we have control of content, is that in a market like the Caribbean, there is ever-decreasing demand for the hotels. There is a shortage of getting hotels, and without access to this content through our partnerships, that would constrain our growth. And equally, it would make it very difficult for a competitor to wake up one morning and say, I'll take these guys on, we can offer this and we can compete. I think that's quite difficult. Firstly, if you want to get 787 aircraft, you can't get them from Boeing until 2020 something. We ordered these aircraft back in 2005, 2006, so we've got a huge cost advantage over anybody ordering aircraft today. And you could say, well, I'll go to a leasing company. Yeah, you can, but they'll make a big margin on those aircraft. So that's the first strength that we've got. As we bring in these aeroplanes, and the decision we've made now is not only just to go for the 787-800s, we've decided to go for the stretch ones, the 787-900s, which has got another 45 seats. That drives down our costs even further. And because we've got the scale, and we've got 20 flights a week going into Cancun as an example, we are able to fill those aircraft and pass on even further benefits to our customers. We then say, well, we need more accommodation and we need more exclusive hotels. So we get more from our existing partners, or we get our existing partners like RIU or our joint venture partner in Canada to build more hotels. They've got beachfront locations, land, and they're happy to build more hotels for us because we can fill them. So this is a perfect partnership. And then also, being a joint venture partner, we benefit in the ownership, in part ownership of those assets. And exactly the same it applies to the cruise markets, where we've got a fabulous position that we're building in this marketplace. And the dynamics are changing here. And yeah, disintermediators benefit when there's a surplus of capacity. What's happening in the cruise market is exactly the same. There are fewer providers, builders of ships today. You can't get a new cruise ship until 2020 something. We've got order positions for these new cruise ships. We've got a 20 million customer base with which we can fill these cruise ships. And that's why, again, this is an example of how attractive it is for us. And why we are confident that we can grow our business to long-haul destinations by some 50% over the next 5 years. And we're not just focusing on the Caribbean, but we'll go east as well. The reason we can go east is we've got aircraft that have got the range of 787 of the 747s. So we can fly to places like Thailand, the Maldives and Mauritius. And we're building our programs there. But we're not just thinking about our content. We also think about how we connect and how we relate with our customers. And whilst our heritage is not as a technology company, we very much embrace technology. And when I look at our UK business today, and Dave Burling, who runs our UK businesses for us, was telling me yesterday, in 2000 we took our first booking online. Today, over half our bookings are online, which is more bookings than we get from our shops. So, we have been a huge embracer of technology, and it's bringing us huge advantages. And we see it as a big enabler for us. And our digital platform is mobile, and it's incredible in terms of the pace and change and the fact that so much search is initiated with mobile, and if you're not mobile enabled, we all know we've got a huge problem. We also know that mobile users are exceeding desktop already. Some other statistics, none of which will be new to you. 88% of people take their mobile phones on holiday to use 3G or Wi-Fi. 268 billion apps downloaded. Downloads are projected for 2017. And mobile penetration sits at over 100%, so people have got multi-devices. And 89% of mobile browsing is through apps. And this is something that we've also developed, which is what we call our digital assistant. Because we've got this end-to-end customer experience, I think we've created an app which is quite unique. And we do it once, and then we launch it across all our markets. So currently our app is in 9 markets. Our vision is to have a personalised holiday summary in one place, including the holiday countdown. That really excites people. We forget sometimes because we're in the industry, but when people book a holiday, they think about it every day until they go on holiday. We offer extras, excursions, as the weather forecast, flight check-in, boarding passes, hotel information. And we've only just started on this, and we're already starting to get huge traction. The next steps for us include our customers being able to book excursions, talking with their holiday rep, seeing destination content from other travellers, hotel check-in, making dinner reservations, just making that whole experience more personal. And at the end of the day, for us, technology is about making our customer holiday experience throughout the end-to-end journey the best it can be. Because why do we want to do that? Because we want to drive loyalty and we want to drive high levels of repeat business. So, ladies and gentlemen, we may be part of the establishment, and for me, I've been a long time part of the establishment, but we embrace change, we understand disruption, and we continually think about how we transform our business to make sure that we will be relevant for the next decade. Thank you very much for listening to me.